Yo, welcome back to the Nerds with Glasses podcast, your number one gaming podcast on YouTube. I am Knowledge.
I'm Javi, guys. Please keep up with us. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Easy to follow us. It's all in the links.
In the links below. And shout out to our sponsor, Control Freak.
Control Freaks.
Get 10% off on any Control Freak product. Just type in GOP as your promo code. And you're set to go. Make your aim godlike, like Javi's. Not mine.
I think yours is a little bit better than mine.
No, I'm too old for that. You're the young gun.
Well, at Advanced Warfare, my aim is shit. Even with Control Freaks.
That's true. Yeah, it is.
I can't do that game.
It is shit on Advanced Warfare. So we had to take last week off because it was just crazy with Mortal Kombat. We had a lot of videos to do. We got a press copy early, so we're really busy.
We're grinding it out.
Yeah, so I mean, we hate skipping a week.
Yeah.
We hate skipping a week, but
wink. No, it's.
But we needed it.
We needed it.
We had to. But so we're back this week. There's a bunch of stories. A lot of stuff happened 2 weeks in between. First thing, most importantly,
a lot of trailers.
Yes.
But I think unanimously by us two.
voted on by two people
yes.
in the world.
The Star Wars Force Awakens, right? I don't know why I thought that.
Wow.
Same difference.
I can see what type of fan you are.
Like I wasn't sold with the first trailer.
No, it was okay. Yeah.
But the second trailer, damn, did they really like? I mean, granted, the first one was a teaser.
Yeah.
So obviously it doesn't have that much, but it didn't tease me enough. It didn't do anything for me. But this one.
Yeah. And this one was a teaser too.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot more solid. I think going through it, just the first thing that really caught my eye is like, okay, we had Mark Hamill's voice, Luke Skywalker, and he says the same thing that he says
at the end
in part 3.
Right.
He says it in part 3. Well, it is part 3 because it was the third one that came out.
Mark.
But it's episode 6.
Yeah.
On Return of the Jedi, and he's talking to Leia. And he's telling her about how they're brother and sister. And there's those same lines, but then he says, you also have it. So obviously he's talking to
a son, or was it a son? I'm sorry. What was it? There was the canon book.
Well, it has to be either I believe Jason Solo. And I forgot the name of the girl, but they're the son and daughter of Han and Leia.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, so I'm assuming it's because he only talks to one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he took one under his wing kind of for a while or something.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of weird that he only chose one.
Yeah, I know the other one's just like, yeah, the Force isn't with you, bro.
It runs in our family, but not
with you. And that's probably why one of them. Well, I'm not gonna say this is spoilers because we don't know what the story's gonna be. But if it goes by kind of like what's out there in the canon of books and stuff, I believe Jason becomes evil.
Probably later on. I think later on. Yeah, I forgot where. I remember last time we were looking at the Force Unleashed trailer. We looked up a little bit, and it mentioned something about him kind of going to the dark side.
Yeah, the Force Awakens.
right. Yes.
The Force Unleashed.
Right.
We don't read all the Star Wars books or anything.
No.
We're like one of those like we like it when we're casual fans, but it's just funny we just keep saying like
those are the things I know. But
his name is not Jason Solo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up while we're talking.
Yeah.
So
but we had read that he was the
villain.
No, not that he was the villain. He was bad. I believe I forgot the name, but I think there's already a name to the villain. I don't know if it. So I don't remember if it is Jason because it wasn't like a confirmed source. It was like a comment on YouTube saying that.
Yeah.
You know who it was.
So I mean, okay. So we're assuming Jason's probably gonna take the what's it called, the Darth Vader route, the Anakin Skywalker route, where he's like kind of good, and then
according to the books,
turns to the dark side.
But from the trailer, okay, let's go back to the trailer though, because it didn't really show us anything. It showed us the bad guy, but he has a mask, so we don't know who he is.
Yeah.
It showed BB-8, who looks awesome. The little robot with the thing, and then the opening was cool. Like I like the LucasArts, just the sound, like the music that was going on in the background.
Yeah.
I thought it was really. It just felt right. I don't know.
we were talking about just that first scene too, where it's in the desert and you just see a epic scale like back, and then you see a huge Star Destroyer
and a small the little X-wing as well.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the X-wing was in the foreground.
Oh, I didn't do it. I was just focusing on the.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing the X-wing.
Was it crash or was it?
Yeah, it was kind of like halfway in the.
Okay, so obviously there was like a battle. Then
yeah.
Star Destroyer is completely destroyed,
and so is the Star.
Yeah, and it's crashed, but it's like really in the distance. And it just
still looks huge.
Yeah, it looked so humongous. Like it took up the whole screen, and it was like hundreds of miles away. Or I don't know how far, but I'm just speculating. Point being, the thing that was great about that scene, and it hit right away, is that it just gave me this sense of realism to the story. Obviously, this is fantasy. It's always been fantasy, but the thing that always made the original trilogy good is that it just had this feeling of like it could happen. It's real. It happened a long time ago in a galaxy far away. And that it's just kind of like, yeah, what happens to Star Destroyers when they get fucked up? Like, you don't ever just see a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, you see them falling. Like, not you don't even see them falling because they're in space.
Yeah.
But you always see them destroyed like to a billion pieces, and that's it.
Yeah, like they get incinerated somehow, or like what the fuck happens to the Star Destroyers, or what happens to the ships? They just all disintegrate. Yeah. So I was right away. I was like, wow, that's sick. If this is the kind of like imagery that they're gonna be running with, then I'm in on this one. Yeah, for sure.
And then we had looks at the bad guys. We had looks at the new clones with the stormtroopers or whatever. They had like a weird looking mask now. It's not like the old one if you looked at it.
Well, see, okay, so do you know stuff about the story? Because I don't know anything about the story.
Like I said, I saw someone like taking pictures and looking at them. Okay. Like they noticed that the scene, someone was handing someone a lightsaber, which I believe it was the girl character. Yeah, she was being handed a lightsaber. Yeah, Luke's lightsaber, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they had stated. Yeah. I also there's the clones or whatever are like they're standing, and behind them isn't the Empire or it isn't their emblem. It's a new emblem.
Yeah, which is probably the new.
Yeah, so
maybe not a new Empire, but the new Republic
or something. Yeah, so it was.
Well, that's the thing too. I'm asking too because I'm like, how do we know they're clones? Because
I'm sorry. Yeah. I just assumed they were. I don't know. I just assumed they were
because they're not clones in the original trilogy.
That's right. I just finished watching a lot of the Clone Wars animated.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. But yeah, the summary. I'm sorry. I meant to say the stormtroopers. Costume is a little bit different.
Yeah, they did look different, and I'm imagining just Han and Leia take over as kind of the figureheads of whatever society is in.
Right,
and I'm just saying, like, if from a logical perspective, I have no idea what the story is really gonna be.
The only thing I would say against that though is the final scene with Chewie and Han. Yeah, because they're saying they're back, so it just. I'm very curious where they've been because, like you said, it kind of could be that they took over. Yeah. But just the way him and Chewie looked, it didn't seem like they had just come from ruling. It looks like they're still running almost.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, it could be that the remnants, because of the Empire, were still trying to.
Or they're chasing the remnants,
Yeah, or they're trying to catch them. But I don't know because he says we're home. Mm-hmm. Maybe he meant like it'd been so long since I've been in the Millennium Falcon.
That's true.
Like, we're home finally. Like, finally we have enemies. Let's go kill them. So, the other thing that I noticed was the CGI, the special effects. I thought it was really good. The main thing for me in the prequel trilogy was that the CGI there was just too much CGI. Right. And I think for one, it made the acting bad, and because I'm sure, dude. Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman are good actors. Even Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin Skywalker, like I seen him in other movies. He's not a bad actor.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in too many, so I can't really judge.
Yeah, like he's actually a pretty good actor. Like he's not fucking Shakespeare. He's not Shakespearean,
he's not Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, but like they're decent. Natalie Portman is a brilliant actress, and. Even she was terrible in the movie. Like some of the lines that they were saying, and I just imagine it must be so hard to act and when there's just green screen around you. Mm-hmm. Whereas I know J.J. Abrams, when he did Star Trek, like for example, I know he built a lot of sets, You know, I know there was a lot of green screen, obviously.
He's a great director, though, so.
That's the other thing, you know. But at the same time, that's what I'm saying. Like, just having a set to work on, and I'm hoping that that's what they did, because the CGI looks good. So it looks like
so far it
looks good. So I don't think that there's too many like just the battle scenes to me. Hopefully, are gonna be CGI. Everything else is gonna be like on set. You know, like,
awesome, yeah.
Instead of just like, here's a green screen, you're walking like, and there's like a palace around you. Okay, like just imagine that. You know. And I've seen like the behind the scenes on the prequel trilogy, and you just see like Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor talking, and there's just giant green screens all around them, and they're just supposed to imagine where they are.
Yeah, it's really hard. You know? I mean, it was hard enough for us with the like to imagine something like that. Like, I can't imagine for someone to have to like act, you know.
Yeah, like it's just not the same, you know. So, this trailer got me pumped up. Like I said, I really love the original trilogy, and I hated the prequel trilogy.
Right.
I'm not like a super fan. I'm just a casual.
Right.
Like a really kind of casual, hard.
Like I said, you exactly. I love the old trilogy, but I also didn't enjoy it, but I didn't mind watching the prequels.
You liked it.
No, I didn't like them. Like I wouldn't pay attention to them, but I would, like, if they're on. It was like one of those things, like, there's a lot of movies I can watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? But and then there's some movies that I don't want to watch, but I don't mind having them on while I'm like playing a game or something.
Yeah.
They're like a movie like that I really like for example, for me right now, my favorite movie of all time is Speed Racer. If that's on TV, I am watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, if I have to get away from it, yeah. But a movie like Star Wars, the prequels, I will have on in the background while I'm playing a game, not really paying attention to it. Yeah. Every once in a while, just looking over. Whereas the original trilogy, I would watch the whole thing.
Yeah, and I just think, I honestly think there's some sort of dividing line. I wish I knew the age, but I think people who were like 12 or like 10 when the new prequel trilogy came out, I think that they love the prequel trilogy.
Right, because they probably didn't even really care much about the old ones.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because I was older. I mean, when it came out, I think how old was I? I think I might have been like 15 when Phantom Menace came out. And I liked Phantom Menace more than the other two, but like the other two was
the other two, I'm sorry. I should just preface it. I like the first one. I can watch the first one.
Yeah.
The other ones I don't remember. I think I've seen them once each.
Yeah.
The first one, the Phantom Menace, I have seen multiple times.
Yeah. And like you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna watch Force Awakens no matter what. Like,
well, yeah, especially now.
Yeah, especially now. But even if I had it's just
it's the same thing with Jurassic World.
Yeah, it's just like it's the franchise. Like, it's Star Wars still. It doesn't matter.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
in my case.
Yeah, it's Chris Pratt in Jurassic World. It's like either way, it's Jurassic Park. I'm gonna go watch it. It doesn't matter. So, you know, I'm just glad they released this teaser, because this one was way better than the other one. And it didn't have that stupid lightsaber that has fucking horns coming the hill. I didn't see it.
He had it up here though.
Yeah, you didn't see the hilts.
Oh, I did. I noticed it.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, because it was he popped up and he showed his lightsaber, and I remember seeing both.
Fucking hilts. It doesn't make sense.
Until they explain it.
They need to explain it during this movie.
Like, I was talking. I don't know if we talked about it, but we might have. But a lot of people are saying it's an exhaust.
We talked about it too, and I was like, okay, well, if it's a fucking exhaust, wouldn't it burn through the or if it doesn't make any sense. We were talking about it's like, okay, maybe it's too powerful, so it needs exhaust to release energy, and I'm like, maybe they need to because we talked about how the lightsaber looked crazier. Like, it was. Like,
I don't remember. I don't think it looked any crazier in this one though. I don't.
Yeah,
it actually looked normal for some reason.
Yeah, because they didn't really show it as much in this one.
Yeah, like you said, like the other one was in the dark.
Yeah, and it just like you see it, and it just looked like a wild, like, light maneuvering, like, movement. So. Yeah, they need to explain it, or I'm walking out. Like,
they're not explaining it. You're not walking out.
I'm not walking
stop
out.
Stop bullshit. Like, stop buffing. Like.
I know, right? I'm just talking shit to everybody. I'm talking to the usher. If they don't explain this shit, I'm walking out. And then the credits roll. Like, what are you still doing here, man? Like,
I'm waiting for them to explain it. The movie's not over yet.
After credits, bro.
Yeah, they could possibly explain it there. Yeah. Then I'm walking out.
Then I'm fucking walking out after they explain it. All right. But sticking to Star Wars, so on Friday, and actually I think Thursday too, they were having this thing called like the Star Wars experience.
Oh, right. Yeah. Was it experience? Did they just rip off PlayStation?
The PlayStation experience. Yeah. Oh no, it was experience. It was a Star Wars celebration.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. I was like, that wasn't the name, but it sounded right. It could have been the same.
So they had the Star Wars celebration, which I didn't watch, but I did watch the Battlefront. Busy. Yeah. But I knew that at 10 a.m. on Friday Pacific Standard Time, they were gonna show Battlefront, which they did. Thank you, right on time. And Battlefront looked fucking amazing.
Yes.
So they had 7 minutes of gameplay, and they also had like a kind of trailer that they showed. The trailer looked amazing. It's supposed to be in-engine footage, which was captured on the PS4, and the game is only gonna come out on next gen.
You know, we're really getting to that point where there's gonna be next gen only games.
It's time.
Yeah,
it really is. People still complain on the channel on the Halo 5 trailers. They're like, man, Halo 5's not coming out on the 360. Like, man, that sucks. I hate. Why did they do that? That's so stupid. And I'm like, bro, get a one. Like, I understand.
Halo 3.
Like, yeah.
Was it Halo 3? That's the one, right? That
Halo 3 was one that came out on 360. Yeah.
Okay, just making. Yeah,
in September of 2007.
Right.
So that was how long ago? 8 years ago? Dude, it's time. I'm sorry, it's time. But yeah, it looked really good, man. The bad news for me though was
bad news for everyone. Wait, I don't know if it's the same news.
Yeah, the bad news for me is that there's no story mode.
Yeah.
Which was kind of disappointing.
I mean, especially because it's coming from EA, it's coming from DICE, right?
Yeah, DICE, who makes like, Battlefield.
I'm like, is it just gonna be a fucking copy and paste, Battlefield? I'm like,
with like a Star Wars skin.
Yeah, like, is it gonna be a reskin fucking Battlefield like they've done?
Yeah. Which,
I mean, granted, it was a fun game, but still, I mean, like, this is Battlefield. I mean, Battlefront, not Battlefield.
Yeah. It's gonna be more than a over skin,
right?
Obviously, of course. I know you didn't mean that, but at the same time, that's pretty much what it is. Like it like just with different little mechanics, maybe for the vehicles and stuff. It looks good, but I wish they would have had a story mode, especially since they're only dealing with the original trilogy,
right?
Trilogy, episode 4, 5, and 6,
and with the new movie coming out.
And the new so that was the other thing was that, and they didn't mean to release it, but it was leaked that the release date is going to be November 17th, which is a month before the new movie comes out. And they also mentioned, of course, they're already through in the DLC. So if you pre-order, you'll get a special battle that takes place after the original trilogy and before the new movie. So I'm guessing the battle will probably tie in.
I was just hoping it would be exactly like the arcade version.
Oh yeah, dude.
So the DLC or the pre-order will be the Darth Vader fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever played. There is like this cool Star Wars. I think it was just called Star Wars. It was an arcade.
I don't remember what it's called. I remember it was amazing.
Yeah, it was this arcade game.
I played it at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, dude, and it was like $1 to play each time. It was expensive, but it was worth it because it had some of the best moments in the original trilogy. It had the fight in the Death Star, the first at the end of episode 4. They had that fight, and they had you can fight against Darth Vader. You can fight it. You can what are they called? The speeder bikes. Yeah, you can get on the speeder bike in the forest.
You can fight the ATT.
Yeah.
The ATAT.
ATATs.
Yeah.
The AT-ATs.
You can destroy the Death Star.
Yeah, it had like all the best parts of the movie.
Fucking awesome.
It was good, dude, and it was like a big joystick. It wasn't like a regular.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a regular joystick.
It was kind of like a plane simulator.
Yeah, it was like a pilot stick where you had like a trigger on it. It was really good.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing we were talking about with Battlefront is they also announced that there's not going to be any space battles.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Javi's like, so what you're saying is that the arcade version is still better than Battlefront, right? I was like, I guess so. Like,
I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I guess I do like simulated combat.
Yeah.
Like space combat. Come on. But you are going to be able to fly. You are going to be able to use a Millennium Falcon. My words.
What's wrong with you today,
I'm
man?
not
Millennium Falcon.
Yes. So you'll be able to. I forgot what else you can use, but there's going to be a lot of air combat.
Yeah, there's going to be. Yeah, you can use the X-wings. They say.
Yeah. So, but it's going to be planetary battle.
Yeah.
Only.
Epic
apparently.
planetary battles. So. I mean, the story mode is what fucks me up because I guess how many times can you retell the story? I guess that's one part. I guess you can argue that it was like how many games have you played already where you just played the same story? Like,
right, that is true. But it's just one of those. I mean, because I remember Battlefront. I played it mostly for the story and co-op. I don't remember there being multiplayer.
Well, in the
there, I think there was, but I just didn't play it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, there was multiplayer.
Right. I just didn't play it. I played
well, back in those days, you know,
right.
like if you had to play like local.
Yeah, and then there was co-op too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember
this
that.
one has.
Yeah. Well, they said this one had co-op, but they said nothing about it.
Right.
So we don't know.
So I mean, I guess it's gonna be fine, just multiplayer. I just know, like, a lot of people don't buy a Star Wars game for multiplayer. You're like, you know, when you have the Star Wars name, you kind of want.
You want a cool because the thing about Star Wars is that there's so many potential for untold stories, which is like the Clone Wars like shows that they've had.
They're pretty good.
They're good, you know, and they have all these cool stories that are canon because they make it canon.
Right.
And so like stuff that
it's funny that you can just like flip a switch and it's canon.
Yeah, it's just like Lucas said, okay, well not anymore because he's. I'm sure he probably still gets word, you know, like even though he's not.
Yeah,
owner.
but it's just funny that that you can.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, it's canon, you know, like for example, The Force Unleashed, the game, the first one, the story is really good. The second one's terrible, but the first one is considered canon. The second one isn't. Right, but I was like, how did that happen? Like, how did they not make the second one canon?
Why were they stupid?
Yeah, like if I told Lucas like, okay, how do you like the story? Is it canon? And he's like, no, I don't like it. Then I'm changing the fucking story.
Yes,
yeah, like I'm not gonna give you a game that's not canon.
Like keep the DLC non-canon because that's fine.
Yeah,
you know the optional.
The
dark side or whatever. I forgot which one is canon, which one isn't.
Yeah, the dark side is non-canon.
Right.
Yeah.
So leave it non-canon. It's always nice to know what could have happened.
Yeah.
Or
what did happen.
Yeah.
Not yet. Oh, what you mean with the DLC? Yeah. And like I remember on Nintendo 64, they had this game called Shadow of the Empire, which I always remember the first couple of missions where you played on Hoth, which is on Empire Strike Back. So it was just like another character in there that you don't see in the movies or anything, but it's involved.
Kind of like the Jurassic Park game we did. Like
like
it follows the movie, but a different place.
Yeah, like so stuff is happening at the same time somewhere else, and you don't know it from watching the original movie. So it's cool. It's like it's canon. It's part of it. They could have definitely done that with this. They could have retold the whole original trilogy, but had like a rogue squadron or something that was like doing fucking damage or something. Because obviously there had to be rogue squadrons doing damage.
At least one doing damage.
Yeah, then somebody was doing damage. They fucking won.
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm curious what, like, I guess they're like, because even like Titanfall at first didn't really have a story, but you had some kind of objective. So I just want to know what it is we're fighting for, I guess, or why we're in this battle.
I'm guessing they're just. They're assuming everybody knows the story,
right?
So they're just from what we saw on the trailer. There's Endor, which is on Return of the Jedi. There was Hoth, so they're just probably just redoing all the big battles from the movies.
That's true.
You know, so
yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be fun. The last thing about it that they said was that it's an EA game. So if you guys have never got EA access, you pay $5 for EA access. It's only on the Xbox One.
Right.
So
PlayStation has their own thing they're trying to do.
PlayStation Now, I guess.
Was it something? Yeah, they're trying to do something that's similar to it, so they didn't want to add it on.
Yeah, I guess because EA access is strictly for EA games. So basically, what it is that you pay $5 a month. It's like a subscription fee, and they have a list of their EA games that you can play.
And you get early access and stuff too.
Yeah, and so that's the other part of it is like you get early access, and they actually have done this. They did it for Hardline. You could play, I believe it was like the first 2 chapters of the campaign, and you could play multiplayer almost a week before the game came out. So it is worth it if you're a big fan of that certain game. Overall,
there isn't that many games I like strictly really like by from EA.
Yeah, unless like you're a big sports game fan, like
right.
if you like FIFA and Madden and whatever, like then it makes sense. But other than that, but it is cool. Like I'm for sure gonna pay the $5
right.
just to play it early, because like they did it for Hardline. They also did it for Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, like so.
Oh yeah, that's EA.
So a week before it came out, you were able to play up to 6 hours.
Wow. Does it transfer? Do you know?
I didn't know. We didn't do that one.
Okay. Yeah, because that would have been cool if it transfers.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it transfers because you're paying for it.
Yeah,
maybe it doesn't.
I don't see why not. I mean, like if you're paying for it, you should be able to.
Okay.
But that's an option if you really, really want to play. You want to play before anybody. Just based on what they did on Hardline, you're gonna get a big chunk of the multiplayer. You know,
and which is all it is.
It's all it is. So you should be fine.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of like these games with no story, I kind of suck saying it because I love the game. I like the game so much. But Destiny has their House of Wolf trailer coming out.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure I wasn't sure if this is something we're gonna talk about on the podcast.
Yeah.
Until I came in and Mike was like, "Did you see the Destiny trailer?"
Yeah.
Like even you were like, pumped.
Yeah, and then that's coming from me who
You like Destiny. You wanted to play it. You wanted it to be good. You didn't like it.
Yeah, I just didn't love it. It was like I appreciated what it was, but I just don't love the game. And one of the things because I'm a big story guy, obviously that's what my channel is,
right.
you know. And it just pissed me off what they did with the story. And now this trailer for House of Wolves that just came out
is better than the first.
It's fucking. There's more story in that trailer than there is in the whole fucking game. Like it's insane that they couldn't create and like I've argued this forever. All you need to make a great story game, like do exactly what Destiny did, and just add like 8 CGI cutscenes. That's all you needed to do. Like they literally could have made like one of that epic prologue cutscene. Like the prologue they had was pretty good actually.
It was.
It was, but
then that's about where it got.
And then that was it. Yeah, and then that was it. And then the rest of the game is just them telling you like, oh, I could tell you this great story, but
one of the things that bothered me about like the strike should have had something more than just that like 3 paragraphs of discussion. You know, in the very beginning, the raid doesn't have anything.
Nothing, and the raid's the best part of the game.
Multiplayer obviously doesn't need anything, but it was just like the new missions didn't have that. Like a lot of the missions from the first non-deal, like the original game, just the vanilla game have cutscenes at least, you know, a little bit beginning and end. Yeah, just something. Whereas the Dark Below had nothing.
Yeah, except for the trailer.
And then dialogue that didn't
amount to anything. Yeah, and they have such a good universe. That's it. It's just sad because it's so interesting.
I remember I didn't really look at the gamer score until I saw a YouTube video about Tolan the Shattered.
Who is gamer score?
Gamer. It's like GR.
The Grimmar card.
Grimmar card. Yeah. There's a Grimmar score, but I never looked it up. But I remember watching someone's video about Tolan the Shattered, who is a warlock guardian. Went rogue studying the Hive, kind of made him supposedly crazy, and now he's exiled.
Okay.
And he also made my favorite gun in the game.
Yeah.
So it was just like, this is fucking amazing.
Like this cool backstory.
Yeah, like this guy kind of like started falling in love with the Hives in a sense. Yeah. You know, he became obsessed with them so much that it kind of supposedly made him crazy. Yeah. And so crazy that the warlocks didn't want him to be in the fucking tower anymore. Yeah. They exiled some person, you know? And then you have Kabar, the guy who basically allowed us to beat the first raid. Like that's how the story goes. Yeah. He supposedly fought the the whole raid by himself, which so people are theorizing he didn't, because they says that he wasn't by himself, but he was erased from existence, and so were his partners.
Yeah.
So his crew was erased, so he didn't even remember them. So
see, that's cool. I like that. See, that's
and like they have a really good like you said universe to play with.
Yeah, very great, like exciting characters, exciting,
right. And
just setting, everything.
Right, and a lot of these characters we don't know nothing about from the game. We hear their names, but the DLC. I mean, this trailer for the House of Wolves did bring one of the more interesting characters that we do know, kind of like more forward, which is the Queen. Yeah. The Queen of the Reef, the Queen of the Awoken. Yeah. And it's kind of like they kind of conquered the Fallen. Yeah. They were controlling them, but it was just kind of like a ruse. Like it was just kind of like a Trojan horse, I guess. They infiltrated and then tore apart the Awoken. Yeah. And now it's this queen who's like, you don't fuck with me.
Yeah, like we're gonna get you fucking back.
Like now, like I think I like her quote, like, open the reef to the Guardians and give them whatever, like all our riches. Yeah. And so now it's just like, that's sick.
Yeah, and of course you're not gonna see any of that story. All you're gonna get is fucking bounties on the same missions, because she even used the word bounty at the end of the trailer. She's like, put them up for bounty. And I was like, oh God. Like, here we go. Another like fucking Queens.
Yeah. But the thing is, we're not talking about how bad the DLC is going to be. We wanted like how good the trailer was. Yeah. And how much potential the game still has, you know?
And for all we know, because it seems to me like House of Wolves was ready from the beginning. If anything,
Dark Below was definitely ready from the beginning.
Yeah, Dark Below was definitely on this ready. Okay.
Right. House of Wolves looks like maybe they were working on it, you know? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. I think that they was ready, but they got so much negative feedback where I think they might have had to been like, okay, look, we need to slow down and add 8 cutscenes because GOP told me,
which they
obviously received my long letter. But they still only have
3 missions, just like Dark Below. So,
and then the thing is too, the big disappointment is that there's not going to be a raid.
Which they're doing
with the DLC.
Yeah, they're adding something that's supposed to be a replacement for the raid. Okay. Which is it's called an arena, which is a lot of people are assuming is survival. Yeah. It's 3-player co-op, and people are assuming you're fighting Horde of Fallen.
So firefight Horde.
Pretty much, that's what people are assuming.
That's pretty much what the game is anyway. Yeah, right. So like it's like every location you go to is another trigger for a firefight.
So I'm hoping there's something more to it than just a typical arena. Maybe it's like...
There's not.
Well, there isn't.
Okay, we're hoping.
Yeah, we're hoping. I mean, like, maybe it is like an actual, like, fucking gladiator arena, you know? Yeah. Something like that. Even if it's still Horde, at least make it somewhat, like...
A new epic setting or something? Like,
because we are... hopefully we're going to the reef, so we're going to be able to see what that is, because they're opening it up. Yeah, okay. But hopefully that doesn't mean that they're opening it up so the queen can come to the tower and tell us to do bounties on the planets we already have.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, they need to open up a new location. Like we said from the beginning, we always said, man, how amazing would it be if like the first DLC is like Jupiter and then the next DLC is like Saturn, you know, like open up a new planet. Or the reef is like, well, what I know there's something here, they just wouldn't put it here.
Yeah, because if I'm still gonna play it, but I just don't want it to be the Dark Below where they literally just opened up rooms. Yeah. In already existing maps. Yeah. And sometimes they didn't even fucking open new rooms. They used the same rooms and just changed where you fight. Yeah. Like they changed it, instead of being from left to right, it's from right to left. Yeah.
And that's just an embarrassing use of DLC. But we'll see. I mean, I feel like Bungie has always been good at listening to their fans, and I think, everybody makes mistakes, but I just think it was rushed. It was rushed, and they were forced to cut the game. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I believe. Activision made them cut parts of the game, and they were rushed to finish. Although they were working on it for 4 years, and like just for people who know Bungie, this is not new. Halo 3, the story of Halo 3 was supposed to be in Halo 2, but they shot themselves in the foot. They were too ambitious. They wanted to do too much, when it came to crunch time, when it came to the last 4 months of the game, they literally could not finish Halo 2. Yeah, like Halo 3. Halo 3, Halo 2/3, you know, so they literally had to cut it off and said, all right, we're going to have to just do that on the next game. And that's why the Halo 2 has such a cliffhanger ending. It was going to have a cliffhanger ending no matter what, because it's a part 2 of a trilogy, but it, like, people
Apparently
were just...
not a trilogy, though.
Yeah. People were just like, what the fuck? Like, we're just going back to Earth, and then what? Now what?
Wait till the next game.
Yeah, guys. On next time on Halo. Like, yeah. So, it's not new. I think Bungie's greatest gift is their biggest curse. It's just that they're too ambitious. Like, they want to do too much. And that's one thing that you can't deny about Destiny is that it's ambitious. Like,
it was one of the most overhyped, or just one of the most hyped games.
Yeah,
I can remember from the last generation.
Yeah, by far, dude. Yeah, I think it was the most hyped game in my opinion.
And then later on, we learned it was overhyped, but still.
And like I said, it's still a good game.
Yeah, I still play it.
Yeah, and last note before we finish this, House of Wolves might be the best name for a fucking DLC of all time. The only other DLC that I can think of that is just as good as name wise is Mass Effect 1's DLC, Bring Down the Sky. That is a name right there.
Oh, such a bad name.
Yeah, like, oh, that's so generic, dude. House of Wolves, I love it.
And it's funny, it's just 3 words. Just 3 words. Just like the Bring Down the Sky.
Well, tell me what you like better, guys. Do you like Bring Down the Sky or House of Wolves? I want to see what people think.
Wolves are just beasts. Like, they are literally just beasts.
Bring down the sky.
Can you imagine going to a house of wolves, Mike?
What if the sky fell on you, bro? Like, dude. Those two could just be named as separate games in themselves. I would buy a game called House of Wolves, like, for sure. And
it's just gonna be literally a house made of wolves, and you're gonna be disappointed.
And you just get killed by wolves over and over again. All right, so. Lastly, we're gonna talk about 2 things. This past week we didn't get to do a podcast, but we really wanted to talk about Mortal Kombat X, and we really wanted to talk about GTA
for PC.
Finally, fucking a year and a half after after it was supposed to come out. But we'll talk about GTA first a little bit.
So let's talk about it. 2 years for a port, really, Mike?
For a port, This is not a port, bro. And let me tell you why it's not a port.
First of all, explain to me why you were so excited today. Well, not today, but when it came out, when you first heard about GTA. Were you excited for GTA Online?
Okay, honestly, I gave no fucks
for
GTA Online.
PC.
Okay, yeah. Let me go. GTA Online, I didn't care because everything didn't work like I thought it wouldn't. All right, GTA 5 PC. I was like, whatever, they're going to improve the graphics. It's a 2-year-old game. Who gives a shit? But the day before it comes out, and they actually had this in GTA 4. They had like an editor thing, but they released a trailer showcasing their Rockstar Editor. So if you have not seen this, guys, if you are any sort of creative person who likes to make videos.
If you like fucking Halo's Forge mode.
Or theater mode and like really like creating your own content, GTA 5 on PC literally just created, in my mind, a whole industry on YouTube. Like, you're bound almost by nothing now to create real original content. And that's coming from me and us at GOP, who, like, honestly, like, the content we do, I see ourselves as librarians who keep we catalog these great stories. We don't write them, you know.
Unfortunately, God would be so rich.
But a librarian is an important job and something that is necessary, I believe. So that's why I never take credit and never say like, "Oh, thank you so much. I could spend so much time designing Master Chief." Like, no, I understand that we are merely the caretakers of greater minds. But with the Rockstar Editor. So you're going to be able, it's kind of like Halo theater mode where you can actually go into
you could play the game, revisit your gameplay.
Exactly.
And change the camera to what you feel like.
And so, like, dude, you can change the camera, move it around. You can move it around, put it anywhere you want, or it has like set perspectives, like left side, top side, up. or whatever. You can go first person, third person. You can add color correction. You can add motion blur. You can add depth of field. Like, it's limitless what you can do all in the here.
So before he keeps going, when he told me about this, I was like, okay, Mike, limitless. Really, like, calm down, come back down to earth. Yeah. Until I saw that you can also basically put characters where you want them.
Yeah.
This is the part that was like, okay, I've seen theater mode before, Mike. Yeah. It's nothing special. Oh, they added, you can put filters. That's whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Yo, you motherfucker, you. Yeah.
But it wasn't until you showed me that you can basically make a fucking original movie, not just not an original movie because you can't really add dialogue as far as we can tell.
Yeah, well, okay, I need to experiment with that. Right. I have experimented with just playing the campaign and messing around.
So as far as we know, though, I mean, you can move characters and you make them do stuff, but we don't know how far that goes. Yeah. Which, I mean, maybe I'll go farther. But when he showed me that, it was still like you can change gravity and do stuff. Yeah. You can just add effects to kind of like an original game style, like an original. You don't have to follow the story how it goes. Yeah. You can literally I think create your own sets. It looked like. Yeah. Like, or at least use sets and add your own direction.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. Because so there's a director mode, and you can choose what characters you want to be in the scene, right? So you can create your own character that you use like online.
You can use Lamar,
you can Franklin. Use any of the characters in the game, like whatever you want to do. And you can change the weather, like you can make it rain, you can make it windy, whatever. Like you can do all that different shit.
You can do bike races.
You can do bike races. You can jump out of planes and cars. Like
so you can recreate Fury 7 if you want.
Exactly, dude. And the first person who does that is gonna get 10 million views. Do that if you truly.
I think we need to cut.
Cut this out. We're doing that, Mike. Shut the fuck up.
But so when he told me this, I was like, dude, this is like a very simplified source filmmaker.
Yeah, which is like the kind of before this would be probably the most out there,
the
best editing tool to make these kind of
what are kind of machinimas, I guess you would call them.
Yeah, like make your own little movies or whatever. But like you said, that's a little more complicated.
That's very complicated. I tried learning it. It was like I could make a person walk.
Yeah. That's about it. You type in the command and he walks. And this is a super simplified version of the source filmmaker. And I think that it's just gonna create a lot of creativity in the community.
And you already see creativity from just adding theater mode to stuff. So it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, dude, and I guess the last step would be, and I didn't look into the director mode because I was just trying to do theater mode in the campaign. But I imagine there's a way that you click a button and it'll make them move their mouths, so that later on, if you want to do voice acting, boom, you throw in your voice acting.
We're gonna have to hire people because we're not doing that shit.
Yeah, my voice acting is terrible. But just think about this. Like, just think about if you literally wanted to make your own movie. Like if you're a creative person who likes writing a script and you had a whole movie in mind,
it's gonna take time.
It will take a lot of time, but you could make that movie using this, because it's not only the fact that you can change your own camera angles, add all these different filters and shit, meaning that you don't have to have a super powerful computer to do that, because it does. Like, if you want to add depth of field to a scene, that takes a lot of computing power, and a lot of editing skill.
Right.
So now this allows people who are just like, okay, I want motion blur here, and let me put it in. Like, I don't need to hire some dude who knows how to do this shit, And you can create a whole movie just using this powerful tool. They should literally hire me to fucking promote this shit, because this is the end all be all to me. It absolutely, if you walked into my room after I saw this trailer, you would just see brain pieces.
You would see Mike's emptied head gathering his brain.
You would just see me on the floor gathering brain bits everywhere. You would see blood on the wall and just blood splattered everywhere, because this absolutely just changed the whole fucking game.
The source filmmaker is amazing.
It is. And if we learned it, would probably be way more powerful than this.
It is definitely more powerful.
Yeah.
but it's the fact accessibility kills everything.
Yeah, exactly. And this is now public for anybody to just buy the game and you can use it. And here's the main thing for me why this is so different from everything.
You weren't even gonna buy this, just so people know. He wasn't gonna buy this.
No,
game.
I was not gonna buy it because people are asking me if we're gonna do GTA on PC. Like, you know what? We already did it on 360 and then we did it on next gen.
Yeah.
But like, I had to get it now because we're gonna do a lot of cool shit with this. But the main draw for me is not only the fact all these characters, you can create your character easy, blah blah blah. You move your character around how you want it, so it's easy to do. The main thing is that you have the entire San Andreas fucking, like, you have the biggest set of wide variety. You have a beach, you have the desert area, you have an urban city, you have the suburbs, you have limitless set of where you can film shit. You can film any type of movie you wanted to do. If you wanted to make fucking Superbad, like if you're a comedian and you wanted to make Superbad, why can't you do it? You can fucking do it, dude. Rockstar Editor changed the game. Anybody who's an aspiring YouTuber and you like kind of editing,
well, even
get
not
this
even,
shit.
Even if you're not a YouTuber, even if you just like you said, if you just love movies, like doing scripts, don't mind working kind of animation, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
This is great for you. It's a definite start. Because it's one of those things like animators, writers, film writers, for example, directors, they need to do it or else they won't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, you need to, like, no matter how small it is, you have to fucking do it.
Yeah, you have to have a whole crew, you know, of people doing shit.
Yeah. Like animators have to animate or else. I mean, if you don't keep animating for like ever.
Yeah.
Like if you don't just do it whenever you have time to do it, you're not gonna do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
If that's something you want to do, for example.
Yeah. So Rockstar Editor, get GTA 5. And like I said, I never played GTA 4 on PC. As I understand it, they had an editor there too. But this I wonder how this is like the next. This is probably like, for all I know, it's the same shit, but I doubt it. Like, I think this has to be a next level shit.
Well, go buy the game right now.
Hey, well, yeah, exactly.
Check it out. We can do 2 movies. Yeah. Two different style movies.
Recreate Fast. Man, we should do that.
You should recreate it.
That would be a lot of money. Okay. Last thing, so biggest release of last week by far, and the biggest release of this year by far so far, until Halo 5 Guardians comes out.
Ori came out.
Yeah, Ori and the Blind Forest, guys. No, Mortal Kombat X came out April 14th, and we got to play it a lot, and we're just gonna a lot. All right, so what'd you think about it?
Awesome, amazing, great.
But
really disgusting.
Yeah?
Like, I mean, obviously it's always, gross and gory, but I was just like I remember Scorpion's fatality, even though you saw it in the trailer, so it was like he cuts the head in half and then the tongue is still like twitching.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and you see the brain
slide out.
Yeah.
It's
it's kind of sad how desensitized we are to most of the violence, where it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, he tore his guts out and then he jumped rope.
Oh, like, Melina just ate her body and she's crawling back her.
Yeah, like I wasn't. There was like maybe 2 or 3 where I was like, oh, bro, like, oh god, no. But like for the most part, I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, we're just so desensitized to all that.
Yeah, and then even they make like the Cassie Cage fatality.
Oh yeah,
the greatest fatality of all time.
Oh yes, that is, dude. I forgot what she does in the actual fatality, but what everybody remembers is that then she takes a selfie.
She all she does is break his jaw. Like she tears his jaw with the fuck, what's it called?
Nightstick or
like a nightstick or something. Yeah. One of those retractable ones.
Yeah.
It just comes half like it's on a hinge.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's not the worst one of them.
Yeah.
But I was just like, perfect. It fits the character. Fucking perfectly. Amazing.
Yeah, and the generation. So like she takes a selfie and then she posts it on like whatever
it is, and then you see comments coming in.
Yeah, which is like Instagram or Facebook or whatever, whatever, Twitter, and like it's just like wow, like it's just such a parody of modern society, right. And perfect for Casey. It's Cassie. It is Cassie, but I like saying Casey Cage.
Casey Cage. Yeah.
I think that sounds. I don't know.
Casey Cage. Because it's
Cage.
Casey and K.
Yeah.
K Cage.
Instead of Cat K.
Yeah.
See, they fucked up right there. Casey, just call her Casey Cage.
I mean, she is the main character. You can't fuck her up now. Like
Cassie Cage.
Cassie Cage.
God damn it. Yeah, I think the game overall was good. The story mode was okay. Like, it was good. The story, I like the story, but as far as game, it's just like you just fight a bunch of people, just like Part 9. It wasn't anything special.
Well, I mean, just like Injustice before it, but it's better than, Street Fighter, story-wise at least.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people complain that it's like, what the fuck is it? But to me, that's just the perfect formula for a fighting game. It doesn't need to be super in-depth. Mm-hmm. It's cool that they have an actual story.
Yeah, unlike, like I said, like games like KI, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken. Those don't really have a story mode, like stuff. They have character endings, which Mortal Kombat also does. So they're like, I forgot what game was it for Mortal Kombat. It literally has every game under the sun. Like it has chess. It has.
Oh yeah, and see, and that's the great thing about Mortal Kombat to me is that aside from the gameplay just being fun, it's just a fun fighter. I had fun playing it, but aside from that, like they've done this since I think like Mortal Kombat 3. I remember like in Mortal Kombat 3 you can input a cheat code and then you can play Galaga, like or Galaxian, one of those two, whatever, and it was just like, oh cool. And then like sometimes I would just get on just to play Galaga, like like not even play Mortal Kombat. But yeah, like the one you're talking about was
Deception?
It was Deadly Alliance or Deception?
I think it was Deception because that's the one we played.
Yeah. Okay. So, and Deception is the one that really changed everything for Mortal Kombat because they added the Conquest mode. They had Conquest and Deadly Alliance, which came out before Deception, but in Deadly Alliance, Conquest is just like tutorials.
Oh, okay.
Like there's nothing.
Like character challenges.
Yeah, it's just literally back to back tutorials, and there's no cutscenes or stories going on. Whereas in Deception, there was a quasi RPG game where you play as Shujinko and you have to go on these missions and gather these Kamidogus, and so like there is a whole story to it. The gameplay itself is just doing tutorials too, like when you gotta fight, but it was more fleshed out, and they had puzzle combat and they had chess combat. So like they had this just full, and that's when they had the crypt too. They started the crypt in Deadly Alliance. And the crypt is like, you have so much content. That's the thing about Mortal Kombat. It's just like you have content for days, like just days and days of content to unlock, enjoy, and you unlock cool shit. Like you unlock new fatalities, new brutalities. If you like the music, you unlock music. If you like looking at concept art, I've never been a concept art guy. I don't get why. I don't give a shit if there's concept art, but I can see where some people will like it.
And something I liked about Mortal Kombat 9 that I don't remember from the other Mortal Kombats, and I don't recall seeing in other games, was the intro dialogue for fights. Was actually like between the two characters.
Yeah.
And not just like a saying.
Like a random thing that like Ryu always says no matter what.
Right.
I'm the best in the world.
Yeah, like I don't remember that in any other games where they actually talk to each other.
Yeah.
They have banter.
Yeah. And this one especially, we found that out because we actually did the banter one already for
Sub-Zero.
For Sub-Zero. And when we first started, we were like, okay, we're probably gonna have to do like 100 different things. And then we realized
each character has about
100.
Well, with each other character, they each have 4 different dialogues within one
times
character.
25 characters.
Yes.
So it's like, so we thought it was gonna be 100 different things for total all characters, but it really turned out to be 100 just for one character. But the point in saying that is like, just doing that's a lot of work that NetherRealms put into just that. Like, that means you have to get all these voice actors to say all these different things. You have to program to say it against these certain characters. Like, that's at least like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks of work, whatever amount of time. But it's just kind of like, that's the great thing about Mortal Kombat. Like, you can play online, you can play the story mode, you can play the towers, or like I had fun just in the crypt. Like the crypt was fun because
I didn't get to do the crypt. I did all the tower stuff.
Yeah. Well, the crypt, it's like before the crypt would just be a big ass cemetery, sorry, a big ass cemetery.
What's wrong with you? Like,
what the fuck is going on? Like, there's a big ass cemetery, and it would be like A through Z, and it'd be like A B, A C, A, and you wouldn't know what's anything unlocked. You have to just randomly choose shit. And this one, it's still, you don't know anything, but it's actually like a 3D map where you walk around, and they're like wolves.
Really horribly walk around.
Yeah. But they do that because there's exact coordinates to where you walk, which makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but still, I'm like, God, this is the worst walking ever.
And it's actually fun. Like, it's like there's puzzles involved. Like, you have
quick time events.
Quick time events. Like, wolves jump out at you, and you have to like
steal your money.
Yeah.
Wolves.
And then you have to like find shit like Scorpion Spear to unlock this other area, or you have to find Ermax this and blah blah blah.
Sub-Zero's Ice Ball.
Yeah, like Liu Kang's Fireball. Like you unlock you get this stuff to unlock other areas. So even the crypt in itself, like you can spend fucking 5-6 hours just in the crypt.
Yeah, you better spend that much time because of how many coins it costs.
Yeah, it is. But they have a lot of cool secret chests where you unlock more coins and this. Like, yeah, it's a lot of stuff in this game, and I don't see anybody not enjoying it unless they just fucking hate Mortal Kombat. like overall.
Yeah.
But overall, I think I'll give it like a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, yeah, definitely 9 out of 10.
What holds it back for you 10 out of 10? Like what will hold it back from 10 out of 10? Or would you say 10 out of 10?
I think it's, for me, it's mostly honestly, because I didn't grow up with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So I, in my mind, compare it to other fighters that I play, which I don't even play that well.
Yeah.
But even like, for example, just for me, I really liked Injustice.
Yeah.
And I would put that over, just personally, over Mortal Kombat 10 right now, because I've spent more time with that game.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for me, it's very hard to judge a fighting game until you have a lot of time with it.
Yeah, it is true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't know, like, Mortal Kombat compared to like Street Fighter is kind of stiff, because the way it's always felt stiff to me for some reason, which is not stiff. It's just
this one is not stiff at all. Yeah,
but it's just like compared to like especially like Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter, even compared to just something like Brawl, where just the moves just feel kind of like don't feel so stiff. The movement is the way the character looks sometimes it's a little bit stiff, but it's not in a bad way at all. It just doesn't feel the same as those games.
I always think the number one thing for you it would be because you had to hold block to block. Well,
that was because I'm not used to that at all.
That's a big deal. I mean, like if usually you on the like Street Fighter you hold back and then you block, which is just natural.
Yeah, but the good thing about a block button though, to be honest, is against teleport characters. Because I remember in just Marvel vs. Capcom 3, teleporting characters are really strong because you have to judge where they're gonna be. Yeah. Because in Marvel, like you can be in front of the person, you could be in behind the person, you could be above them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So you would have to like switch.
You would have to watch for the cross up. Yeah. Which is something I don't like about Mortal Kombat because you can't cross someone up. Yeah. Like in Street Fighter, if I jump over you, there's certain moves that are ambiguous that you don't know if it's gonna hit you in the front or back, so you have to guess which way to block. Yeah. 50-50. Yeah. Which I love that kind of stuff. Yeah. Which isn't in Brawl, but isn't like there's another game I used to play that does that a lot. In that game, I spent a lot of time learning how to cross up. In this game, you can't do that.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's just different. It definitely is just different. I think for me, the main thing what I would give it a 10 out of 10 is just I don't love the combos yet. I would need to play it more.
That's what I'm saying. You need more time.
Yeah, I need more time because the thing about like Mortal Kombat 2 in particular, which I remember about Mortal Kombat 2, where it's like you can only do like 3-hit combos. But after people started playing it a while, they started discovering
for certain frames where you can still hit.
Yeah, and
some moves are fast enough to hit during that frame.
And then they will create their own sick ass combos. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Which is similar to Street Fighter because you can combine 3 hits. Yeah. For a lot of characters. Yeah. And then you find things that you can I can hit him here and then still hit him here.
And then you can get creative. Then that's what's cool about it. So I think that's what I think I would give it a 10 out of 10 if I don't know how much I'm gonna play it overall. Right.
But like I already spent a little bit of time in the lab, so to speak, and like because when we were first playing it, I was doing like 15% combos, 4 hits. Yeah. Now with a character like Devora, for example, I've gotten a good combo that is consistent that does 25 or 30%.
Yeah, that's fucking a lot. Yeah.
Takeda is so easy to use. I can do an easy combo that almost always does above 20%, which is good in a game like Mortal Kombat.
It's fucking 5 combos and you're out. You know?
Yeah, fucking. I also know a combo with Kota Khan that does 91%. Yeah, and that's just fucking broken right now. Which it's really hard to pull off against a person that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, but you would have they had to patch that for sure.
I think
that's never even that's unheard of. Like even with
Superman in Injustice has I think almost a 70% combo.
He's Superman, bro.
Yeah, he is Superman.
That's allowed. But to me that's the only thing holding it back now, because personally I've always been a fan of, I don't care how much damage they do, I just like when they're longer combos.
So you would love a game like Killer Instinct?
Yeah, I always love Killer Instinct because you would bust out 10-hit combos, because I enjoy the physical aspect of doing the button combination, which is why I always love Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Right. Because you can do 15-hit combos.
Right, and that's, you didn't like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I love the game. Yeah. Because, I love, there's a team that I use that I just love, because after learning how to actually play with the team, I was doing I was able to kill you with one combo. You were gone. If I was able to get in on, if I was able to do it. Yeah. And I was able to do it consistently.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of skill involved in that game too. The thing, just for me, what just sidetracked with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the reason I didn't like that there's only 3 attack buttons. Right. I think that's too simplified. I understand that it can get complex. Right. I know of course. That any game can, but even Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was only 4, whereas Part 1 was 6, the traditional 6. Well,
technically, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is 4 buttons. Yeah. It has, light, medium, hard, and then the special launcher.
Yeah, which, that's kind of a button. But, so for me, it's just the combos. Because my favorite Mortal Kombat is Part 3, which is the same in Mortal Kombat.
Is that the one where we were using Cabal on me?
Yeah, and so, it's the same thing. In that game, you can do long string, 8-9 hit combos that are not easy to do, but that are built into the character. That's a combo.
Cabal, you mean?
Just Cabal. All of them. And then of course, and in Part 2, like I said, in Mortal Kombat 2, it was people just got super creative, Kung Lao, uppercut you, kick, down kick, teleport. You know what I mean? It's not something that the designers said.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about fighting games. Yeah, they're always that's the thing about shooters that I can't ever see them overpassing fighters. For me, at least, because a fighting game is meant to be broken. Yeah, a fighting game is meant to be picked apart and physically fucking beat to the ground. Yeah, until they can do whatever they want with it. Yeah, that's why a game for me, Smash is so awesome, because it's already fucking broken.
Yeah, and that's why Melee is the best one, because you can just play with it so much, and that's why games like Halo 2 were always more popular than the newer ones, because those had those glitches where some people thought it may be a broken thing, like doing BXR, where you can melee and then shoot really fast because you do the button combo. But
Destiny shotguns. Sorry. Still, shotguns are stupid.
Well, BXR, that shit, but that's the whole thing, is just those little extra things that seem glitchy are also add skill. I think
add someone quick scoping to an extent. You know, added skill to some parts of the game, not too much. Yeah, in Halo, because there was quick scoping, right? In the sense
in Halo,
or was that in the later ones? Because I remember, I remember I was watching a stream, and I don't know if it's the same as Call of Duty quick scoping, but I know there was just this person would aim in there's no way he had time to no, it was just he had such a good shot, he knew where to put his cursor prior.
I think in Halo, I see the terminology threw me out, because I wouldn't call it quick scoping, right? But in Halo there was a lot of glitchy side swiping, whereas you could quick scope and drag it, and like even if it wasn't on the head, it would hit the head just because the hit detection was so bad. Mm-hmm. But like even though that was a glitch, it was still hard to execute.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't like in Call of Duty, it's very easy.
Yeah,
I guess to an extent, it's very easy.
Yeah, and even in Call of Duty, like I know people complain about that shit, but it's like not everybody can do it.
You actually have to spend time with the controller to do it.
Yeah, you have to know where to aim, even though it's a glitch. You have to kind of know, where to guide it to. So. Yeah, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 for Mortal Kombat, and
we're definitely gonna be playing it more. We haven't really played against each other too much.
No, that gets bloody. We're
gonna do it though.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
We did it for Smash. We're doing it for this.
Yeah,
because at least for Smash, we actually spent some time. Granted, it didn't have a story mode, so we had a lot of time.
Yeah,
but I think we need to do it in Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, no, dude, we'll play Mortal Kombat X, and I'll win. Yet again.
Oh, really? Well, this isn't your 1990 Mortal Kombat, Mike.
Whoa. This isn't your grandfather's Mortal Kombat, Mike. This is the new era.
This is the new era.
All right, just keep making fun of my old self. Fine.
Which we're like 4 years apart.
I know, right? But I just feel so much older.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on this week's podcast. We will be consistent as we always have been, except when a AAA once in every 5-year game comes out.
Or we're dying in the hospital.
Yeah, those are the two options. Thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for joining us, guys.
We need to enunciate.
Yes.
Enunciate. Okay. I was just making sure I was saying the right one.
Enunciate?
I had to say it out loud so I can make sure I was saying the right one.
Enunciate.
Yeah, I know that's the wrong one, but I just wanted to make sure it was the wrong one.
That's like not even one. Like that's not even like a possible one. You know, like it's like, is that the right one? It's like that's not even.
In my head, it sounds correct. Okay, like I have to say it out loud to make sure it's right.
Peace.